every system implementation, a basic assessment has to be done to establish a gap, if any. Once this is done, a proof of value, POV, must be done to establish the strategic fit. This process is to ensure that the system being implemented aligns with the strategic objectives of the entity implementing the system. In high-end system implementation, like in the case of the port, various forms of simulations, pre-tests, and parallel runs must be done to ascertain the efficacy of the system. Aside this, various players and stakeholders in the industry must be extensively consulted to give their inputs and acceptance. In the wake of the rigorous review of the paperless port system, spearheaded by no mean a person but the Vice President of the land, we suddenly hear of the UNIPASS system announced by the Ministry of Trade to replace the existing workable solutions on the ground. The trajectory on which we are riding is not only chaotic but suicidal. We have traveled on this journey before and have learned our lessons as a country. And for that matter, we don't need to repeat the errors of old. This is why it was very unfortunate for the Ministry of Trade to have announced the replacement of GCNet and West Blue system with no justification. While the ministry takes this initiative, they fail to understand that the port as a strategic asset of this country cannot and must not be used for experiment. Since 2002, when GCNet introduced the national single window, perhaps we need to ask the following questions. Have we assessed critically the impact of this intervention on trade facilitation and revenue mobilization? If yes, what are the targeted key performance indicators, KPIs I mean? To what extent have we engaged the stakeholders who will integrate with the UNIPASS system? And what will be the cost and the time of integration, and who bears the cost? Have we considered the impact of the change in terms of cost, training, change management, and integration, and time? What is the total cost of the UNIPASS project? What is the nature of the UNIPASS contract? Are we scrapping GCNet and West Blue systems? Who bears the consequential cost of scrapping the two systems or two existing systems? Have we thought of judgment debt? What happens to the 35% shareholding of government in GCNet? Furthermore, it has been established that the processing fee for the UNIPASS system will be 0.75 free on board, that is FOB, compared to the combined fee of GCNet 0.40 of FOB and West Blue 0.28 of CIF, which sums up to 0.68 in simplistic terms. We say in simplistic terms because we know we are mixing CIF and FOB interchangeably, but I don't think we'll have problem with that kind of analysis because there's a precedent. It is important to re-emphasize that the government, referred to Table 3 above, receives 35% out of the 0.40% fee of GCNet. So in real terms, GCNet receives 0.26, that is 0.40 less 35%. This brings down the total of 0.68 to 0.54, that is the 0.26 plus 0.28 of West Blue. These are the bare facts, and as such, government will have to choose between UNIPASS fee of 0.75 and the existing fee of 0.54. It is important for the Ministry of Trade to understand that the strategic role of the port and its impact on GDP and the economy at large, and for which reason they have to go back to the drawing board and rethink carefully before bringing any such intervention. It should be noted that any such intervention should be driven strategically by evidential data suggesting a justifiable reason for the takeover. Interestingly, in this write-up, we have been able to prove beyond all reasonable doubt by facts and figures that what we have on the ground is a work in progress, and challenges identified are being fixed, and therefore, any attempt to replace the system will be akin to reinventing the wheel. Ladies and gentlemen, we don't need UNIPASS.